Winning at sports and at sports broadcasting means changing things up.
Just like La Quinta Inns and Suites is changing up their look.
A renovated lobby that's so contemporary it even makes Golick look cool.
Yes, it does. And a totally updated fitness center that even has Wingo feeling like a workout.
I'm ripped. Plus plenty of comfortable spaces to hang out.
Yep, this La Quinta look definitely has a vibe of victory.
So you can just relax, refresh, and get ready for your next big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com. Golick and Wingo with you on a Thursday morning on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests will join us via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. By the way, that song by Fall Out Boy is one of my favorites because everyone thinks they know the words, and they do
Just hum along to it.
I know that song. I know the words, and you just botch it every time.
Know the song, but I will not say I know the words.
I know what they're saying, and then you just say whatever, like mouth salad comes out. So just whatever you think it is that matches up to the beat.
Oh, man, I tell you, and we'll get back to it. You bring up something on a show, and it just overtakes it. This showering in an airport is just taken over the show. So we can't be totally surprised by that. No, we can't. We'll get back into more. We'll get some very, very interesting answers about this. Yeah,
maybe more than we bargained for.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But again, we're glad you're with us. Stugotz will join us in a little bit from the Dan Le Batard Show. Todd McShay will be with us from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Talk about specifically those quarterbacks that we could have maybe as many as 5 taken in the first round, and who's impressing and who's maybe lagging a little bit. And then Ryan Smith, our legal analyst from ESPN, will join us to talk about what goes forward now with the situation with Larry Nassar, Michigan State, USA Gymnastics, and the U.S. Olympic Committee.
Right,
because
exactly.
There's still a lot of unanswered questions there now that Nassar
He's gone. He's the epicenter of this.
Done. See you later. Goodbye.
Burn in hell. Whatever he's going to do is fine. But what else happens now to others that may have known what was going on legally? Ryan Smith will give us some answers there.
Again, he has a far better area of expertise on the legal front than we could ever have, so we want to get him to try and clarify that. He's been great on Outside the Lines, as everybody has, in the reporting of this story. Bob Lee, Jeremy Schaap, Dan Murphy, they've all done a terrific job. So one of the things that's been really interesting this week is Dave Gettleman has, the new general manager of the New York Giants, has praised his new head coach, Pat Shermer, as an adult.
Right.
And then, the Giants have the second overall pick in the draft. Only the second time ever they've had this pick.
They did well the first time.
Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
Hall of Famer. Nice job. Well done. Gettleman is now saying he will take, quote, best player, end quote, with the second pick. He said, with the second pick, we're going to take the best player. They screamed at me at Carolina. You've got to draft a tackle. You've got to draft a tackle. If the value's not there when you pick, you're going to make a mistake. You make a mistake, we're going to set ourselves up so we can take the best player available, and the best player available is a quarterback, then we're going to do that. But then he added, if you take a guy just to take a guy, especially at the quarterback position, and he fails, you set yourself back 5 years, said Gettleman. You set yourself back 5 years because there are teams that are in what I call quarterback hell. They've got a legitimate defense, special teams, but they're going 7-9, 8-9, because of the quarterback issue. And on some level, he's right there.
Right, yeah.
But, Mike, I think that penalty is lessened with the new CBA.
It absolutely is. Yeah, you look at the last guy that was the number one pick as a quarterback before the rookie wage scale came into being with Sam Bradford. Got over $50 million guaranteed. You look at a quarterback now taking 1 or 2, you're in the area of $25-26 million guaranteed. So you can almost cut it in half of the guaranteed money. So you get hurt less financially as far as how much it's going to set you back. You still get hurt, don't get me wrong.
No question.
Because if he doesn't work out, then you got to find the next guy that does work out. But so while it does hurt you some, it isn't the catastrophic event that it was when you had to lay out all this money to unproven talent, and then if they didn't prove themselves, you were like, oh, my God, we have just screwed ourselves for the long haul here. Yeah. So I think that is just still true to a point. And also we have to understand, from now until the draft, you won't get one quote that's true from anybody about anything in the draft. But I've always said this, Trey. I mean, I think the Giants will take a quarterback as well. But as I've said, a lot of it depends on grade. If your staff grades these guys and truly don't have a high enough grade for them, then you shouldn't take them. That was just like the reverse when a lot of people were saying, no way I would take Ryan Tannehill that high like the Miami Dolphins did. And I remember Jaws coming on and saying, listen, if you grade him and forgetting what everybody else is grading, if your organization says our grade is high enough that we think he can be the quarterback of the future, then you take him.
Trust your people.
Then you take him. So as I've always said, that's what it comes down to. What do your people think of that slot the person you're thinking about and the grade you have for them.
You're exactly right. And the thing that's changed with the quarterback, I think it was the 2011 draft. I want to make sure. It might have been the 2012. No, it was 2011. It was 2011. There were a couple of teams that did take quarterbacks in the early rounds, and they all missed.
Yeah.
Blaine Gabbert, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars, Christian Ponder from the Minnesota Vikings, Jake Locker,
right?
The Tennessee Titans. And they all got new quarterbacks, and look where they are now. I mean, that wasn't really Blake Bortles, but I mean, they got to the AFC Championship game with Marcus Mariota. Tennessee Titans made the postseason this year, and they believe that they've got their quarterback going forward. And they've got a plethora of quarterbacks now in Minnesota.
Yes, they do.
All of them on expiring contracts, but with Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, and Sam Bradford. So it's not as penal as it used to be. Because really, to your point, you got to draft that position again, but that's the way it is for any other position now.
Right.
It's not the, oh my gosh, we're married to this guy because of all the money we're paying him.
As the next guy we're going to have on is going to say, he wants his team to keep drafting a quarterback every single year until they find the quarterback they need.
And that may take a while with recent history.
That would be the Jets.
With his team. And that, of course, that's his team. And that guy is Stugotz, and he joins us now for the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz, which follows us after on ESPN Radio after Golic and Wingo. Stu, there's always a lot to get to with you, but we're going here because we sort of mentioned this sort of arbitrarily off the cuff. Mike is taking a big trip overseas, and sometimes when you get on that leg of a flight, you get there, you're tired, you feel a little gross. You take a shower at the airport and you feel better. And a lot of people seem absolutely mortified by the idea of taking a shower at the airport. Have you ever taken a shower at the airport, and would you do it?
I have never taken a shower. Good morning, guys. I've never taken a shower at an airport. I was listening to you guys on the way in. I heard Devin talking about this. He's strange. I think I would take a shower in an airport. Like, listen, sometimes you just need a good hot shower. It kind of, revives you. It helps you out. I'll tell you a quick funny story of talking about places where I have taken a shower. We were doing, Trey, you were actually there for this. We were doing the fantasy marathon a couple of years ago. And when I say, Trey, you were there for this, you weren't in the shower with me. You were just doing the fantasy marathon.
Important thing to point out. I appreciate that. Thank you.
An important clarification. But at one point, Mike Golic Jr. and I are on Fantasy Island. And we hadn't showered. We've been up for about 28 hours or so. We hadn't showered. And Adam Schefter pulls us aside in some hallway that I've never been in before, and he's got news for us. And Mike and I are thinking, hey, he's going to tell us some NFL news before he breaks it on the air. No. Schefter told us he found a shower in some deep, dark corridor on the Bristol campus, somewhere in that facility, and he walked us to that shower, and Mike Golic Jr. and I took a shower in that shower. Okay, this is a place I'm telling you most people at ESPN have never been. It was dark, it was dirty, it was dingy, but Mike and I took a shower, not together, important clarification, but we did take showers in that bathroom.
I want to know where that shower is.
If there's anything wrong with that.
Listen, Trey, I would never be able to walk you through those hallways and show you that room again. I'm not certain Schefter would be able to, but I just love that. Listen, Mike and I thought that we were getting breaking NFL news, and no, we were just getting, hey, here's a room with a shower.
You got something better.
There you go. That's exactly
yes,
right.
We did.
All right, Stu, the big news out there yesterday is the 4 guys that were voted into the Hall of Fame in Chipper Jones, Vlad Guerrero, Jim Thome, and Trevor Hoffman. Congrats again to Jack Morris and Alan Trammell, the Veterans Committee, putting them in. Your thoughts on that class and any that maybe you should have got in? We'll save the steroid guys in that situation for after your initial thoughts on the guys that actually did get in.
Well, I mean, listen, those guys who got in, Mike, my whole thing with the Hall of Fame is just how we're doing this, how we're picking and choosing the guys who do get in. Chipper Jones is certainly deserving. All 4 guys are certainly deserving. I'm interested in your guys' thoughts. My problem with this whole thing is the steroid guys, the Bonzes and guys like that, McGuire, Manny Ramirez, Roger Clemens, all those guys, and just how it seems like the writers are picking and choosing some of those guys that they want to get into the Hall of Fame. I got a huge issue with that. How do you guys feel about it?
Well, I think they've been pretty. Have we seen a guy that's been stuck with the label gone in yet? I don't think that's happened, right?
Well, no.
I mean, listen, like David Ortiz is going to get in, and gun to my head, and this is unfair, but gun to my head, if you ask me, hey, did Vlad Guerrero ever take steroids? And listen, my life depends on the answer being right. I'd probably say yes. What I don't like about Bagwell, Biggio, all these guys, What I don't like about what's going on is it seems like the writers who are holding on to the last little bit of relevancy that they have and some sort of control over whether or not a guy fulfills his dreams and gets to the Hall of Fame, they're just picking and choosing the guys that have steroids attached to them, okay? Barry Bonds never tested positive. We all think that he did it, but he never tested positive. David Ortiz, we have no idea, but I guarantee you he's going to get in first ballot. What are we doing here? And why do these guys decide, these writers decide, who gets into the Hall of Fame and who doesn't get into the Hall of Fame? And please, give me a break. If I presented a writer with some sort of pill that would allow him or her to be the best writer in their field, which then, as an extension from that, would make them millions of dollars, give them more fame and more glory, tell me the writer that wouldn't take it. What are we doing here? Why are we doing it like this? Barry Bonds, Manny Ramirez, Roger Clemens are three of the top 10 baseball players I've ever seen. They're certainly deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. The writers are getting this wrong.
Listen, Stu, I've been saying this for years. I think it's an absolute joke. That if your stats say you're Hall of Fame worthy, be in the Hall of Fame. You want to put some kind of Bob Costas said a note somewhere on a wall about a steroid era. I don't care about that, but guys should be in the Hall of Fame. I keep bringing up and I keep getting it poo-pooed to me about all the players that inflated their stats with amphetamines. And they all say, oh, there's a huge difference with steroids and amphetamines. I get it. But it's still an illegal thing you took and artificially helped you and gave you better stats. It just did. It doesn't do it maybe at the rate that steroids does, but to just discount that and say, we're okay with that, but we're not okay with this, according to these voters, is a joke.
Mike, I completely agree. But here's the thing, because this is what I think people. First off, I don't think the public cares. I really don't. I think it's a media-driven story.
That's a separate issue entirely.
Agreed.
Yes. But here's the thing. If it was just as easy as, hey, I'm going to take something or I'm going to put something on my skin and go out and hit 60 homers, then explain Jeremy Giambi, okay? Because he tested positive, and I don't think the guy had more than 7 homers in a single year in his entire career. Like, look at some of the guys who have tested positive for steroids and then look at their stats. It's not as simple as, hey, I'm going to take something and then go hit 60 homers. Barry Bonds had God-given talent. Trey, I heard you say this the other day, and I agree. Had Barry Bonds never taken a substance, and again, he's never tested positive, we all just assume, he still would have been one of the 3 best baseball players of all time. And we're keeping that guy out of the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he did everything right. He just wanted to hit home runs because McGwire and Sosa were getting all the attention. Look, I do think there's a couple of things we got to be careful with here. I mean, David Ortiz did fail a drug test, so that has happened. That's on him. And as for Barry Bonds, look, your head size doesn't grow at 36. Okay, let's just be honest about it. Okay, look at Barry Bonds now, and look at him when he was a player. He's the epitome of that Matt Damon movie, Downsizing. Okay, that's what's become of him. So it's easy to put 2 and 2 there together. I do think if you want to make this your line in the sand, you can say. And I don't begrudge them for doing this. If you have failed a test or we believe there's overwhelming evidence to believe that you took, and if that's your line in the sand, that's their choice. That's their prerogative. But on your point, and to Golick's point, which I think is much fairer, where are we on the amphetamines issue? Because that certainly helped people perform. And there used to be times where they would line in creatine shakes for everybody. Walk in after your workouts. Come here, take the creatine. So you're taking a sliding line of where you want to apply that line.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing is, with some of the stuff that these guys were taking, listen, don't we want to see our best athletes. I want to see Bonds. I want to see Clemens. I want to see Manny Ramirez. And if there is something that allows them to get over an injury faster and get them back on the field quicker, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all of it, to be quite honest with you. I'm okay with all of it. I mean, steroids kind of saved baseball, and now we're keeping those guys who saved baseball, who brought it back, Sosa, McGwire, all these guys, we're keeping them out of the Hall of Fame. Why? Because the writers can, and that's ridiculous.
When Clemens and Bonds were first eligible, they got in, I believe, the high 30s in that first year. Now they're in the mid to upper 50s, 57 and 56%. They have 4 more tries. Once it gets to the Veterans Committee, they got no shot. So they have 4 more tries at the writers. Stugotz, you think within those 4 years, either one of those guys gets in?
I heard Tim Kirchin, and I agree with him. I think maybe that 10th year, because I think some of the voters will flip over. Maybe you'll get some younger guys who aren't holding grudges against these guys. So, yeah, I think maybe in the 10th year. If it gets to the Veterans Committee, they'll never get in. Can you imagine those conversations? They will absolutely never get in. But I think maybe in that 10th year, yeah, they have a shot at getting in.
And the bigger problem I have is if you're going to do that, and look, that's the way the system is set up. So if we want to try and change the system, fine. Good luck with that, because I think those writers will hold onto those ballots like grim death. But then you're going to have a whole era of baseball that won't be represented in the Museum of Baseball, and that's going to seem just as weird as people that might have been tainted in the building as well. To me, those are equally bizarre.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to walk my daughter through the Hall of Fame one day. She's going to say, Daddy, how come there's no one here from like 1990 to 2000 or whatever? It's crazy how we're doing it. It really is. And again, I would also say that the writers who are keeping these guys out of the Hall of Fame, if they could take something with minimal side effects, would they take it if it meant millions of dollars, more fame, and more glory? I'm guessing most would. So it's just odd to me.
All right, Stugotz, switching gears here, there have been some guarantees, death, taxes, and LeBron making the finals. Does that end this year?
No, it does not, because he's still the best player in the East. The East is still a weak conference. If it's LeBron versus Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in a best of 7, I'm going to take LeBron James. If it's LeBron James versus Kyrie Irving in a best of 7, team to win 4 games, I'm going to take LeBron James. I'm going to take LeBron James in every series he plays in, right up until he plays the Golden State Warriors, Mike.
Well, of course, there are a lot of people, Stugotz, that feel that this is the year it does not happen. I mean, a LeBron James team has made it to the finals 7 straight years. The Cavs have been there 3 straight. We had Legs on earlier this week, and he doesn't think there's a roster change that they can make that would make them good enough to take down maybe Boston or Toronto, because just the players aren't there right now with the way this team is constructed.
And listen, but I heard a lot of this talk last year, Trey. A lot of people saying, hey, the defense is so bad, they're not going to make it to the NBA Finals. They're playing so poorly. And then they kind of steamrolled their way through the East and got to the NBA Finals. I don't know if there's a deal out there or not. There probably isn't. George Hill is not. Listen, this is all for me. The Cavs are going to the NBA Finals. So it's all about, can you put together a roster to beat the Golden State Warriors? And I don't think the Cavs can, because they don't have the commitment from LeBron James long term, and therefore they're not going to trade the pick they got from the Celtics, the Nets pick next year,
right, the Brooklyn pick.
In the drafts. Yeah, it's all about, can you beat Golden State? Listen, I just happen to think they're going to get through the East. I don't know. To me, in the playoffs, where the benches get shortened and the minutes get longer for the superstars, LeBron versus Kyrie in a best of 7, I'm going to take my chances with LeBron James.
All right, Stu, 140 today. Tiger Woods tees off to try it again. So between now and when he really hangs it up, does he win a major? Does he win a tournament? Does he win nothing?
I think he wins definitely one major. I'm hoping he'll win more than that. It's an exciting day. Trey, you excited for this? I heard about this Tiger file. I want to hear more about it. I got a 2:18 tee time today, Trey. 2:18, because we're in South Florida. You continue to live up in Connecticut. But we're in South Florida. It's 74, not a cloud in the sky this afternoon, Trey. I'm going to have the iPad. I'm going to watch the golf. I'm going to play golf. I want to hear more about, in fact, if you want to get in an airplane and come join me, Trey, bring the Tiger file, because I want to see what this thing is all about.
It's just a chronological breakdown of every tournament he's won by year and what date in that year he won that. And there's also some stroke averages.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
Without question.
I think it's great.
Without question.
I think it's awesome. It's awesome.
Why you got to hurt
me like that? Do you have all the articles around, like when the Evelyn thing happened? Do you have any of that, or just
this
majors?
This is just golf majors, okay. All that kind of stuff. Okay. This is strictly on the course.
It's going to be like walking a kid through the Hall of Fame when they say, hey, Daddy, there's no one here from, like, the early 90s, the late 80s. What's going on? What's going to happen when you show that to your kids and they say, Daddy, what happened after this certain date? He didn't win anymore. What happened to Tiger Woods? How are you going to explain that one?
Back injury.
Yeah.
A lot of back surgeries.
Oh, my.
A lot of back surgeries. All right, wow. Stu, listen.
You won't tell him about the golf club to the back of the car, huh?
Well, everybody throws a club every now and then. You've thrown a club. I've thrown a club. Stu, we appreciate you being with it. We won't be with you next week because we'll be in Minneapolis at the food court, and you guys are not going to be there.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear this, Trey. I really was. I was shocked that you guys are going, not that you're going to the Super Bowl. Of course, you're going to the Super Bowl, but that is maybe the best food court in America. And I was shocked that Mike Golic, because is there a more appropriate place for the sports media to converge to cover the Super Bowl than a food court? It is perfect for, it's a perfect venue for the Super Bowl, but I'm surprised that Mike Golic is not broadcasting live from that food court. That is shocking to me.
Well, we'll be in the Mall of America, so I will be giving every day some sort of rating on a different food court product. That will happen.
Plus, we're going to be at a restaurant.
Yes, we are.
We're going to be at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but I envision, like, Mike, have you ever done this? Because I have walked around a food court and just taken the samples and eaten an entire meal without paying for a thing. Have you ever done that before?
Look who you're talking to, Stu. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Know your audience, Stu. Know your audience.
I was just making sure.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. The bourbon chicken, right, Mike? It's the bourbon chicken that hooks you in.
There you go. That's it. Oh, that's awesome.
All right, Stu.
Nice, Stu.
We'll see you after we're done on the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. And, oh, by the way, enjoy your tea time.
I will, Trey. Trey, hop on an airplane. Get down here. Come on, man. Hang out with me.
Oh, if it were only that easy.
Yeah.
If we're only that easy. We'll do that one when Golic gets us into the Masters.
There you go.
Thanks, Stu.
Thanks, Stu.
Okay, Trey. See you guys. All right.
Showing up in Cousin Eddie's RV at
that's
Augusta
it.
National. Oh, he had to break in that he's got a tea time this afternoon.
Yeah.
Cuts me to the core.
Obviously not going to see much of Tiger. He's tea time's like an hour after Tiger tees
He's
off.
got these. He's going to take the iPad. That,
Yeah.
We're double screening these days, multitasking.
Very true. Very true.
And good for him getting out there and swinging it. I'm hitting into a net for 30 minutes just to feel the club in my hands.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Attention shoppers, clean up on aisle 14. Clean up on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Geico.
We've got Bubba in studio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Bubba, it feels like the rift between you and Cliff, the magical wizard of music, and our wonderful board op.
What?
Yeah, that's his name. He's the cooker. It seems like you guys are coming together a little bit.
Look, I mean, we never really had a problem. You guys tried to make this thing up, and, it was cute while it lasted. The board op, he was just jealous. I get it. He saw what I did on Mike and Mike.
Right.
He saw how I transitioned to talent. He saw how Granger sponsors my segment. He saw how he canceled Adam Schefter for me. He got a little jealous. I get it. It makes sense. Now I think he's just.
But that music he just played.
That was great.
That's your favorite band, right?
It was. It was a great. Hey, we're getting better.
The love that Cliff has been getting nationally on this show, do you think he has taken the shine away from you?
No, it's not. It's not possible. Look, we saw what happened. We gave him a chance to ask a question. It was awful. We gave him a chance to answer a question. God awful. So he's gonna be behind the glass forever, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think you're seeing things differently than most people.
Most people stay behind the glass. I'm a rare talent. I get it.
Ugh.
Good point. He did audition for the NFL Live spot.
Yeah, I'm going to go puke in a bag. All right. You're right. Here we go.
It's time for another edition of Love It or Shove It.
That didn't go well.
With Golic and Wingo.
Love it or shove it with the talented Bubba. Brought to you by Granger. All right, let's go.
Tiger Woods will have a round in the 60s this weekend. Love it or shove it.
He missed a cut last year. Last tournament he played in was this tournament last year. Shot a 76-72. Shot a 70 yesterday, I believe.
Yep.
In the practice round.
2 under.
I'm going to say I love it. Maybe it's more out of hope. Listen, I have no idea, but we know in the tournament he played, a month or two ago, did pretty well, started out pretty well in that one.
Yp.
I know that was just 18 golfers in that, and there was no cut there or anything.
But it was some of the top 18 golfers in the world.
Absolutely right. I'm going to love it, maybe more out of want to than anything else, that he will shoot in the 60s.
Look, he's won here 8 times, including his last major, the U.S. Open in 2008, with a broken leg and a torn ACL. The last time we saw him, and of course, 3 of his 4 rounds were in the 60s. He had 2, Thursday, Friday were in the 60s. Saturday, he shot a 75 at his tournament, the Hero World Challenge, and came back, I think, with a 68 maybe, or 67 in that final round. Maybe based on hope more than anything else with you, I'm going to love it. I'm going to think Tiger Woods will shoot around in the 60s in the weekend, which means not only does he do that, but that means he makes the cut.
Right, exactly.
Which is something he didn't do the last time we saw him in a PGA-sanctioned event, which was this event a year ago.
Chipper Jones.
Wow.
All this talk about talent and all this stuff. Can't even turn his mic on.
That was a blatant setup. These guys in the back turned my mic off.
I didn't see that.
I
Did you
get
see
it.
that?
Hey, I get it. I get it.
I didn't see it. All I know is someone not taking accountability.
Wow.
First, that was the quickest he's ever been on the button. That was clearly a setup.
I didn't see it that way.
He's never been that quick before.
I didn't see it that way, but go ahead. Continue.
Bubba, wear the hat, huh?
Yeah. Own it. As Teddy
It's on,
as
all right?
Teddy Bruschi would say, don't point the finger, jerk the thumb.
Chipper Jones is the second best switch hitter of all time. Love it or shove it.
Wow. I'm probably going to shove it. Mickey Mantle. And it's tough for me not to go Pete Rose.
Right.
Next, you know?
The most hits of all time.
You got the Eddie Murrays of the world. But top two, second best? No, I'd go Mickey Mantle and Pete Rose.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna shove that.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove that. Yeah.
Look, this is hard. I mean, look at this list of switch hitters. Pete Rose, most hits ever. Eddie Murray, Tim Raines, Carlos Beltran,
Mets,
Mickey Mantle, Robbie Alomar.
Right.
I could easily, without question, absolutely third. I could easily go absolutely third best. But okay, Pete Rose has the most hits of anybody.
Yeah.
Mickey Mantle is Mickey freaking Mantle.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's hard for me to get around those two. For three, I think you can make a compelling argument for anybody. So I'm going to say shove it. No disrespect, Chipper, or he wore a shirt all the time. Bat Boy is what his shirt was. So I'm going to shove that because I think easily you can make the case for third. Hard for me to put him above either Pete Rose or Mickey Mantle.
Agreed.
But Chipper Jones is second in WAR. Are you not familiar with WAR?
You mean the made-up unicorn stat?
Oh.
Wins above replacement? Who's
Please.
the replacement? Just this average generic thing that we've mashed together with numbers? Yeah, I know.
Anyways, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens will never get into the Hall of Fame. Love it or shove it.
I really want to shove that. They have 4 more chances. They're in the mid to upper 50s now in percentage. They've been going up there at 56 and 57%. Bonds 56, Clemens 57. 4 more chances. They'll never make it in the Veterans Committee in. So I'm going to say they'll never get in. I'm going to shove that and say they will get in. They should get in. The voters need to get over it. And get over this whole, I'm going to decide thing on who belongs in what era and put them in. And again, it's a museum, not only a Hall of Fame. It all needs to be in there. They need to be in the Hall of Fame. I shove this.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But I'm gonna shove it because I want it to not be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's no way you could look. As I've said it a million times, if Barry Bonds never did anything more than an aspirin, easily one of the top 5 players in the history of baseball. It's not debatable. Okay, he had everything going for him. So I want to see Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. I want to see Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to shove that. By the way, I have to make an important clarification.
Okay,
we were talking about Tiger. It's a PGA Tour event, not PGA. PGA of America is a different thing. I got my friend Bruce, who works on the tour.
Right.
I get it, Bruce. He just emailed me. I get it. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
Right.
Unlike Bubba, I am owning my mistake. I'm not pushing it under the bus.
Well, you know what they say. You got to jerk the thumb.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Point it at yourself.
There you go.
So if you're gonna be on this side of the glass, I own it. So Bruce, I'm sorry. I meant to say PGA Tour, not PGA, and stop emailing me.
All right, there you have it.
All right, the Patriots will score in the first quarter of Super Bowl 52. Love it or shove it.
Now, again, the New England has scored 0 points in the first quarters of Super Bowls in the Brady-Belichick era. It's been a lot of Super Bowls, and they've never scored in the first quarter. Bill Belichick was asked that question and, didn't really take it too well.
His response was fantastic.
Was fantastic. Will they score in the first quarter? I'm going to shove it and say they're not. I'm going to say they get shut out in the first quarter again, and which means nothing to the end of the game.
No,
because last I checked, who was it? The Titans had them down 7-0. Right? Yeah,
lulled them into sleep.
There they go. Yeah. So I am going to. I think they get shut out again. So they will not score in the first quarter. So
you're going to love it.
I'm going to love it.
All right. No. You're going to shove it. Oh hell no! Wait. The Patriots will score in the first quarter. Love it. You're going to. So.
What are you
happening
saying?
I'm trying to figure
out
what you're saying right
now.
The
Patriots will score in the first quarter. I don't think they're going to, so I'm going to
shove it.
There you go.
All right,
you're getting the game.
Sorry. Again, I'll own that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to say that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Because that Eagles defense is really good. Mm-hmm. I'm going to shove it. I'm going to say the streak. They won't
score.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that being said, it doesn't matter again.
Right.
The Eagles gave up a touchdown to Case Keenum, lulled him into sleep.
38 points.
38 unanswered later. It doesn't matter. But I think the streak continues. I'm going to shove it too.
So we got it. We're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got it, boss.
It's more likely that LeBron will leave Cleveland than Paul George will leave Oklahoma City this summer. Love it or shove it.
Wow. Again, Russ kind of had. Paul George is back on the whole all-star thing, so because he did that, Paul George says, Russ is the reason why this decision is becoming even more easy to make, and that's the free agent decision on where Paul George may want to go. That's a really good question, Bubba. Because it
is a very good question.
I did not think LeBron was going to leave. because I thought his goal is to win championships. To do that, you have to get to the finals. And in Cleveland, that's his best shot. But they are a mess this year. I still think they get there, but it could be more work than usual to get there. So I'm still not so sure about him staying there, but I'm still going to stick with that. So more likely LeBron leaves than Paul George. I'm still going to shove that. I'm going to shove it.
Okay, I need some help here, and I'm going to everybody, you two, the people behind the glass. I think both things are going to happen. So does that mean I love it or shove it?
Bubba?
You're the arbiter here, big boy.
Yeah.
I think that's just a schlub.
A schlub it?
A schlub.
That's
there
fine.
have been schlubs before.
I think that's a fair ruling because I think both things are probably going to happen.
Okay.
I think LeBron's going to leave, and I think Paul George, despite what he says, is probably going to leave.
There's a schlub.
So I'm going to schlub.
We'll allow
that.
a schlub.
There you go.
We'll go with the full
I agree.
schlub there.
We'll
I
allow
agree.
a schlub.
We're
Okay.
breaking new ground here.
Yeah.
All right, the Giants will draft a quarterback with the second pick in the NFL draft, even if he's not the highest-rated player on their draft board. Love it or shove it.
Yeah, Dave Gettleman, the new GM, said with the second pick, we're going to take the best player. If you take a guy just to take a guy, especially at the quarterback position, and he fails, you set yourself back 5 years. We don't agree you set yourself back 5 years anymore. I think they're going to take a quarterback. There may be another guy rated higher on their board, like a Saquon Barkley, but I think they're going to rate one of the quarterbacks high enough to say we're going to take that guy. So I do think I think they will take a quarterback with the second pick, so I love this.
Yeah, that's interesting because the offense has really not had a rushing attack over the last couple of years, and it's really held them back. And this year, when the defense fell apart as well, it was really evident how much that lack of a rushing attack hurt them. And the Saquon Barkley nugget is just out there and dangling.
Right.
And knowing David Gettleman and the way that team was built in Carolina with a plethora of running backs, that makes it interesting as well. But to me, I'm going to love this because I do believe what Adam Schefter reported is significant. Pat Shurmur got a 5-year contract to coach the Giants. If you draft someone in the first round, you can own them for 5 years, which means you have time with a quarterback over 5 years to develop that relationship. So to me, that looks to me like an indication they're going to find Eli Manning's, or believe they're going to find Eli Manning's replacement in this draft. So I'm going to love that.
We both love that, Bubba.
Yeah.
How about that?
Great.
That's all you got? Great.
Bubba, would you ever shower in an airport?
Yeah, I heard you guys talk. What are you guys talking about? No, why would I shower in an airport?
If it was
on a long trip.
red eye.
What is this, Tom Hanks? I live at Bradley Airport?
Have you been delayed in an airport for hours at times to where, you know what, sometimes a shower will feel good?
Where, what, in the public bathroom?
Wherever there might be a shower.
Of course I wouldn't shower in an airport.
You would not shower in an airport?
You would?
Yes,
Yeah,
without
absolutely.
question. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a debate.
Yeah.
It's not even
You're
debatable.
delayed you can't wait a few hours to shower?
No.
I'm sure you're going somewhere you can shower.
Possibly.
I usually shower before I go on a flight.
I will shower in an
you
airport.
look kind of showerless right now, so that's why I was
Yeah, I'm surprised at that answer. I thought you'd shower anywhere.
No.
Yeah. Well.
The thing is, I don't shower anywhere. That's the thing.
No, that
So
looks like it as well.
Airport anywhere.
It looks like you don't shower
I think you
much
just talk
either.
your way around into both points of view there, which was really well done.
Just do the clothes.
That's what talent
for crying
does.
out loud.
Right.
Just turn your mic on. You're a professional.
Yeah.
Or wait, maybe you're not. All right. Thank you. That was Love It or Shove It with the Showerless Bubba, brought to you by Grainger, who are now rethinking their sponsorship of the Showerless Bubba. The products and services you need when you need them, like a shower. Grainger's got your back to help keep your facility running. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. We're in that sort of lull week before the Super Bowl and between the conference championship games on Sunday, which I always think is the greatest day of the whole year. The right to go to the Super Bowl. Dreams are made and souls are crushed in 2 games on that one day. That's why I find it the most interesting one. We got the Pro Bowl coming up Sunday on ESPN and ABC. The Skills Challenge is going to be tonight, which will be a lot of fun. Dodgeball and all that kind of stuff. It's always a good time.
That's cool because, let's be honest, the Pro Bowl game itself is never really a great game.
Although the ratings last year were really good, and they were better than they've been in a while, and I think because of the format and the way they've changed
people
it a
always say, why do they keep doing that game? Because people watch it.
Correct.
And for me, watching it, it's not a great football game. Correct. But people watch it.
Right.
That's why they keep showing it.
Exactly. And I think they found a way to sort of address that issue with the way the Pro Bowl is now. I mean, last year's game was, remember that they tried to tackle Zeke Elliott and he couldn't stop, so they all picked him up. They body surfed him back. I mean, that kind of stuff makes it a little more fun. There was like the one year when Jeff Saturday was there and he went as a Packer, but he lined up on the other side of the ball to snap it to Peyton for the AFC one more time. So that's the kind of stuff that's embraced it. But you find stuff to sort of fill the week now if you're a football junkie. And Jordan Renan, our Giants reporter, put out a tweet this yesterday. We ran it on NFL Live that Fletcher Cox, the outstanding nose tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's going to be a big problem for the Patriots.
Oh my gosh, without question.
He's never watched this. He doesn't watch sports. He's never watched the Super Bowl. Well, that got the alarm bells off. And the old freezing cold takes, old takes exposed, went to work.
You got to remember, man, when you tweeted something out years ago, it doesn't disappear.
This tweet appeared on February 5th, 2012. That would have been Super Bowl 46, Giants Patriots in Indianapolis. Fletcher Cox account. Can't understand why New England's D-line is so far off the ball.
Ooh, what game is he talking about?
That might be Super Bowl 46.
And he said he didn't talk about the Super Bowl.
Which would be a Super Bowl that he didn't say he watched. And they had a couple of other ones there. One was a retweet of something, but another one, February 1st, 2015. Wow. Well, February 1st, 2015, that would have been Super Bowl 49, I believe. 28-24.
Yeah.
Patriots over the Seahawks.
You do have a gift.
Yeah.
By the way, Trey can pull out, you give him any Super Bowl, he'll tell you the teams, he'll tell you the score, he'll tell you the MVP. It is, without question, a gift. But Fletcher Cox, old tweets coming back to haunt him a little bit.
That stuff's out there. Yeah. So, as our good friend Herm Edwards might say,
don't press in.
Yeah.
So,
very interesting there.
Just understand. And then there's another story.
Yeah, there is a note here. Keith Millard, obviously a great ball player with the Vikings.
Number 75.
And his teammate, Chris Dolman. Keith Millard tweeted out, please say a prayer for Chris Dolman. He's had surgery today to remove a brain tumor. A great teammate and friend of mine for the 7 years we played together. An awesome person. Thinking about you, buddy. God bless. So, we add our thoughts to that as well. But what a defensive line that was with Dolman and Millard. Chris Dolman is 5th on the all-time sack list. Again, a stat they haven't kept long enough because there are some great pass rushers. Deacon Jones that feels he had about 220-some sacks in his career, but the list is Bruce Smith is number 1 at 200, Reggie White number 2, 198, then Kevin Green 166, Julius Peppers still active at 154.5, and then Chris Dolman at 150.5, so 5th all time. But again, this tough news, having that surgery today, and so Keith Millard has thoughts with him, and all our thoughts as well. What a great player he was, great pass rusher,
Hall of Famer
that he was, without question.
Went in a couple of years ago, and you mentioned Millard. That Vikings part of that team that never really got very far in the playoffs. But boy, that defense was really good. Wasn't Randall on that defense as well?
John Randall.
And Millard was crazy.
Millard was nuts.
He had the crazy eyes.
And look what's leading that team now. They fell a game short of going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. But that defense has been leading them without question. How good that defense is, it should continue to be a good defense. But so our best as well to Chris Dolman again.
No question.
Having a brain tumor removed. So thoughts and prayers with him.
I hope everything goes okay. And it was nice of Keith to do that. And Keith Millard's one of those players that probably isn't really appreciated by a whole generation of fans. But if you saw him play, boy, he was one guy you're like, okay, let's not let this guy ruin our day.
Yep, you did. And on that, I mentioned the sack just to turn it over to that. Julius Peppers, 4th, still active right now. The other one in the top 20 that's still active is Terrell Suggs,
right?
With 125.5. He sits 17th, tied with Dwight Freeney, who I guess could be
technically still active. We don't know what he's going to do.
They're tied at 17th with 125.5
in 2018, and we'll be at Minnesota this time next week, getting you ready for Super Bowl 52 at the Hard Rock Cafe in the Mall of America, Wednesday through Friday. Coming up, this may be the most important week of the pre-draft process for some of the quarterbacks that could go number 1 overall. Todd McShay joins us next to talk about it.
Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking.
Fate is a fickle master.
What?
The future is uncertain.
Okay, and what's my account balance?
The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous voyage filled with great peril.
Look, can I just get a deposit slip or something?
A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I see a yellow-eyed serpent and a low APR.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.